All right, here we are with the client-side programming final, and this time with an actual web app instead of just a static website with JavaScript. And because of that, this is simpler than the websites in terms of just how it looks. But there's web app. It's a web app. See here, it uses Node and it's listening on port 3000, uh, which is the default one that Node uses. And other things, just thinking off the top of my head, uh, Tomcat, which we've been using recently for with IntelliJ to make web apps, and more advanced ones with time leaf and that sort of thing. Though those use port 8080. Well, defaultly you can change it. So the goal of this one is to make like another bookstore, except for the first of all, data is loaded from a CSV file, and second is that uh, books are loaded in from there and then also can be updated. So I'm just going to show it. So this is index. So we just want to wait here, and it's an async function to get the data and parse the data with proper parse, which is just there's tons of parsing tools out there. That's just the one that I happen to use. And then for each book, if there's a title and it's available, which this is just in case of partial data. Uh, does, this check doesn't have to be there, but better safe than sorry. Uh, what you might want to do instead is just check if everything's there, but that's just to do it quick while also having an extra check in there as well. Then here you see it's stringifying that data and then header application. Then if books, you send the response to let know that they're there, and if not, you give the 500. Uh, books could not be loaded. And here's what the message for listening. And then here is, let me go to index. So web books now. I think we had to have a sticky header. That's why, there's the exclamation marks and stuff there. Just trying to see. Cause here there's nothing in these because I just fill it in. Because that's how we're supposed to fill it in with the script. And I use, I don't think I mentioned it before, but it's something that I watched kind of a tutorial on, made my own a little bit for drop down menus. You'll see it in this and in other things I've done. So here it's actually fetching the data from that localhost book data. Uh, you know, if it's awaiting and it has a good status, good. This is for the expandable stuff, so that's not related. Then, or no, this is related, but I have some other stuff in there. Just I'll get back to that. So for each, we add the header and icon for the titles. Then in the this is for in the contents. Then for each of them, we have the book and see how we're getting it from the values from the CSV file, which have been parsed, which is like what we had to do for it. And then see, so that's a good way to have a loop through data while also having it be slightly different instead of having a bunch of stuff in the web page. Uh, no, saves on the web page being longer than it has to be. And then here, same concept for there's this is filling in with the see different information because it's a separate page, so that's why it's a -2 instead. Then here to just call the function set buttons. This is just adds the event listeners to the buttons. Uh, same thing there. Probably could have done it in a better way. Um, which I've made like methods in the past, which is basically just adds event listeners. But here you can see it's a little bit different. So, and then here this is for the expandable icon. So this is what's completely unrelated to the specific web app stuff. And then, of course, you have styles, which for this is basically completely unimportant. So I'm going to go here. And this is what it looks like. So I was under an extreme time crunch for this one. So that's kind of why, because I had this, so you drop down, I had that concept already lined up from a personal website. So I reused that, reused some design stuff. And basically, I wish I had more time for this, but also just the concept I wasn't too passionate about, I suppose. So here, it takes you to this page, and then what you can do, check if it's available, buy it, and then not available. So simple stuff, but this was our first ever web app, so I suppose that is makes sense. But there's a lot of stuff that I would and have done differently when it comes to this website, especially since I'm not a fan of working with Node. I prefer the kind of the whole uh, we use Spring Boot with Time Leaf, and you know because of that, there's a lot of Java to handle the logic, and I prefer that much more than this. Raw Java, not JavaScript, is what I mean. But yeah, back to top. So it was nothing crazy. Definitely not like extremely proud of it or anything, but it is something that I'm glad I did so that I had some sort of starting point for web apps. It's just I've made better things since, and I've made things that I've probably learned more since, and things I just like better. But this has its place in my personal timeline, and yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say on this one.